This story is called Cold Feet. Do you ever have cold feet, Freya? Once upon a time, there were a king and a queen. Most of the time they were very happy. The only trouble was that the king was terribly untidy. He would keep leaving his clothes all over the palace. "If you leave any more clothes lying around," said the queen one morning, as she picked up a jumper, some hats and a coat off the bedroom floor, "or lose your socks again, I won't make any more special fruit cake for tea." And she stormed out. "Oh dear," said the king to himself, "I'd better not tell her I've lost my crown and my socks. I couldn't go without my fruit cake. I wonder where my crown could be." And he sat down on his throne to have a think. Ow! The king leaped up again and looked at his throne. There was his crown. "Well, at least I've found that." He put the crown on his head and sat back on the throne. "Now where have I left my socks?" He thought and he thought. It was no good. He couldn't even think where he'd left one sock. He hunted all round the royal bedroom, under the bed, inside the chest, on top of the wardrobe, even through his dirty clothes. Not one sock to be found. "Dear, oh dear," said the king. "I dare not tell Queen I've lost them. I shall have to think of a reason for not wearing them, that's all." Then he had an idea. "I know, I'll issue a proclamation." That's what kings do when they're in a spot of trouble. Next day, all over the palace, there were large notices proclaiming, "No socks to be worn in this palace for 1 week. Signed, the king." People were rather surprised. But if the king told them to take off their socks, then take them off they must. So, for a week, everybody in the palace and everybody who came to the palace went barefoot. At the end of the week, the king was very pleased with his idea. He was getting ready to write out a new proclamation to carry on for another week, when the queen came in looking tearful over a large bundle of assorted socks. "Something the matter, dear?" asked the king as he signed his name with a flourish. "It's all these socks," the queen said, shaking her head. "Everybody who's come to visit the palace this week, the milkman, the postman, the baker, the kings of Belgravia and his son, they've all had to take their socks off, and they've left them in a pile on the doorstep. But the socks always get mixed up and they all look alike. Nobody can find their own, so they keep going home barefoot." "Never mind, my dear," said the king. "At least the sock maker in town will have a lot of work making new socks for everybody. Now, I'll just go and get this new proclamation printed." But at that moment there was a knock at the palace door. "I'll get it," said the queen. "I expect it's the postman." She came back a few minutes later with a letter and a large parcel. "They're for you," she said, handing them to the king. "I'll leave the parcel till last," he said, opening the letter. Well, 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 what a surprise. It's from Fred Needle, maker of the best quality socks. Can you see all the odd socks at the door? "Is he pleased with the work he's been getting?" asked the queen. "Well," he says, "Your Majesty, I have been making socks night and day for the last week and I am very tired. Please will you cancel your proclamation and let everyone keep their socks on again because I need a rest. Signed, Fred Needle, sock maker." "Poor man," said the queen. "You will cancel the proclamation, won't you?" "No, no," said the king hurriedly. "I couldn't possibly." And he quickly opened the parcel. He couldn't believe his eyes. It was a box full of socks. Different colours, different patterns, some short and some long. "By Jove," said the king, "these are rather nice. Much nicer than any of the ones I lost. And ones I'm not wearing at the moment." "They're from Fred Needle," said the queen. reading the note which was inside. He hopes you like them very much. You'll want to keep them on your feet and cancel the proclamation. Splendid, said the king, beaming from ear to ear. I'll wear this pair today and that pair tomorrow. But what about the proclamation? Oh, cancel the proclamation, said the king. Hooray, said the queen. I'll make some fruit cake for tea to celebrate. And she rushed off to the kitchen. The king tried on a new pair of socks. Wonderful, he exclaimed, wiggling his toes. It's going to take me a long time to lose all these socks. And he tore up his proclamation and he went off to the kitchen in his new socks to wait for his scrummy, yummy fruit cake. All ended well. Now it's time for bed, Freya. Time to tuck yourself in and sleep tight. Nana loves you very much. I'm sorry I can't be with you, but I hope you enjoyed the story. Love you loads. Sleep tight. Love you. Good night.